Hello, can you hear me? Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, sorry, my microphone wasn't off or on. Let me see if it's working now. I'm just trying to see if it's working. Yep. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello. Yep, now it's working. Now it's working. Now it's working. Now it's working. Sorry, my audio wasn't working. Let me see if it's working on this screen right here. Yep, it is working. That's good. Oh, wrong one. What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Hey, Cole, what's going on, Cole? How you doing? Laura's in here. What's good, Laura? How are you? We're gonna be doing some BTS today. Sheldon, what are you doing, Sheldon? What are you doing, Sheldon? You want to come up? You want to come up? Come up. Come on. Come up. Come up. There he is, guys. He made it. Guys, he made it. He's right here. He tried to come up on my lap for the last 5 minutes since I started the stream. Look at him. Look at him. Look at this guy. Look at him. Look at him. All right, Sheldon, sit. All right, guys, so here. Today we're going to be doing some BTS content. We're going to be doing some more Boracity content. The one that we're going to start with is called The Next BTS and Why They Fail Every Time. That's the one we're going to start with. I already have it queued up. It's all ready to go. Let me just make sure the stream is working properly. Everything is good. And then we'll go ahead and start. Let me go ahead and move to the side. Because, you know, we like to move side to side. And let's go to this one right here. Let me just make sure it's working, the audio.
In 2019,
Yep, it is working. Perfect. All right, guys. Perfect. All ready to go. Ready to start. We got 7 people in the chat. Let's go. Shout out to every single one of you guys. Let's try to hit the like button, guys. Let's try to get the 5 likes out of the 7 that we have in here. Let's try to get 5 likes, guys. That being said, let's go ahead and start. You guys ready? Look at the chat real quick. And for those who are watching this later on after the live, feel free to fast forward until I begin the video if you want. We got Twemme in here. We got Cole in here. We got Laura in here. Shout out to all of you guys. Let's go ahead and start this video. In 3, to the 2. And by the way, guys, as always, you guys do know me. I do have my coffee with me right here. 24/7, all day, every day, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Very, very simple. We always got the coffee on lock. And guys, let's go ahead and get this started. So this video, the name of this video is called The Next BTS and Why They Fail Every Time. So why do groups like BTS that are trying to be like BTS, why do they fail every time? So that's what we're going to be watching. It's a 20-minute video. After that, I'm going to ask you guys for some recommendations to what we can watch next. So keep, think of something that for us to watch next. Think of something that you can tell me to watch next for BTS. All right. That being said, let's go ahead and go in 3, 2, 1. Boom.
in 2019, BTS were already well established as the biggest group in the world. 2 years after their American TV debut had already passed, and their success only kept growing. The name BTS was associated with some of the biggest names in the music industry. This helped K-pop grow as a whole, but BTS were the only ones in the spotlight in the Western music industry. The K-pop industry noticed this, so SM, one of the biggest entertainment agencies in South Korea, had the idea to create a supergroup formed of the 7 most popular members of some of the most popular K-pop groups and promoted them
See, I don't know any of these guys. I don't know any of them.
as the Avengers of K-pop. This way, their success was supposed to be guaranteed, and their chances of becoming the next BTS were bigger than the chances of the hundreds
Hey, Lori's in here. What's good, Lori? How are you? I see you, Lori.
of other K-pop groups also trying
Let's go back like 10 seconds.
Avengers of K-pop. This way, their success was supposed to be guaranteed, and their chances of becoming the next BTS were bigger than the chances of the hundreds of other K-pop groups also trying to level with the success of BTS. This supergroup did everything they could. Their label SM Entertainment partnered with the US label Capitol Records.
SM
Their debut
Entertainment.
stage was in Hollywood. Their TV debut was on the Ellen DeGeneres Show. They also performed on Jimmy Kimmel. Their premiere event was in Los Angeles and had American press. Their debut album had 8 different versions, 1 regular version and 1 individual edition for each of the 7 members, and they started an American tour right away. All of this promotion helped them get a #1 on the Billboard 200 albums charts, making them the second Korean act to top the chart, only after BTS. This made Los Angeles Times and entertainment companies predict that this group was going to be the next BTS.
Super M? Is that what they're called? Super M? I've never heard of Super M before in my life.
But there
Not once in my life did I ever hear of Super M. And they were supposed to be the next BTS. That's like in sports when they say, oh, this is going to be the next Messi. When a new player comes out, a little 17, 18-year-old player comes out, and he's playing really good, they're like, oh, this is the next Messi. This is the next Ronaldo. And it never ends up happening.
Times and entertainment companies predict that this group was going to be the next BTS. But there was something weird. Outside of the K-pop sphere, no one really knew about them. They were everywhere, and their album was #1, but the songs of the album were nowhere to be found on song charts like the Billboard Hot 100, or even in the top 20 of the bubbling under Hot 100. And right after their album debuted at #1, it disappeared from the top 10. Their second album had a similar story. The Avengers of K-pop performed in American TV shows and even
The Avengers of K-pop. Is that what they called them? Super M, the Avenger Marvel Entertainment. K-pop group Super M announces new Marvel lifestyle collection. Oh shit.
partnered with Marvel for limited edition merchandise, but their album debuted at #2 with none of its songs charting on the Hot 100. This was only one of the multiple failed next BTS attempts.
Yeah, cause they suck!
Whether they are Korean girl groups or Korean boy groups, year after year, Korean entertainment agencies and American music labels have been trying to replicate BTS's success.
You guys are the biggest boy band.
Now let me ask you this, guys. Do you ever think that there will be a group eventually? Eventually. Let's throw our hands up. Look, my hands are up, guys. My hands are up. Eventually. Do you think ever, once BTS passes away, and we're talking about 100 years from now, do you think there's going to be a group? Because you know how everything in life always gets better. No matter what you give me an example, it always gets better. There's always room for improvement for anything in life. Except that there is a cap for certain things. For example, running. There's a cap at how fast a person can run. Each person is different. There's a cap to how some people can run 12 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, this mile, and they have a cap for it. But when you first start off, there's always room for improvement. So I wonder if BTS in the future, there's going to be a group that is going to be better than BTS in ways. I don't know what kind of ways it would be better in, but just like in anything, there's always someone that comes in and breaks a record. Once that record is broken, years down the line, someone else comes and breaks that record. Years down the line, someone else comes and breaks that record. And records are there meant to be broken. So, do you guys personally think there's ever going to be a group in the future? Not now, in the future, that's going to be like BTS? Let me know. Let's go.
Trying to replicate BTS's success.
You guys are the biggest boy band in the world.
It's not a secret that the K-pop industry has been studying BTS's popularity for years. An industry official said, right now, the biggest concern in the K-pop industry is who will make the next BTS. So all attention is focused on the performance of the United States. The entertainment agency's main strategy to set the narrative that their group is the actual next BTS is to hyper-focus on getting 1 or 2 achievements that BTS previously had. But since this is almost impossible, they go out of their way to find strategies in which they can be named together, hoping that people won't bother to know the context. One example is album sales.
I mean, BTS did break a lot of records. I gotta say that. I gotta throw that out there. I mean, I'm thinking about like what I said. BTS did break a lot of records, so it's gonna take a lot. It is gonna take a lot because I often compare BTS and I compare like big celebrities with Messi. Because for me, Messi is the GOAT. He's my idol. Ever since I was young, I've always looked up to him. You know what I mean? Me and him are around the same age. You know, it's funny, but when I was younger playing soccer, you know, I looked up to Messi, and he's like 3 years older than me. But I tend to compare those for Messi because Messi has like so many titles. He has so many titles. He has so many individual awards. Like I'm talking about way more. I'm talking about between him and second place is a long distance. So I personally don't think there's ever going to be a player that's going to come replace Messi just because of the amount of things that Messi has won individually and collectively as a team. And I think BTS is going to be very hard to break that record. Let's go.
BTS are the second group only after the Beatles to get 3 #1 albums in less than a year. This phrase was everywhere.
And they just became the first group since the Beatles to earn 3 #1 albums in less than a year.
This is a very hard record for K-pop or for any artist to achieve, but getting at least one #1 album may be enough to be named in the same conversation as BTS. So although these groups cannot have an organic #1 album because of lack of demand in the US, they still can sell multiple versions of the same album with different pictures that fans can.
Super M, man. Super M makes me want to check them out to see what they're about, but no. I stick to BTS, man. I'll stick to BTS. That's who I will stick with. Let's go. I tried Stray Kids and I like Stray Kids. I haven't reacted to them in a minute now, but I do like Stray Kids. I do like Stray Kids. I've reacted to maybe 5 of their songs and they were pretty dope. I can't sit here and lie and say, oh, they're trash. Stray Kids are pretty dope, but there's a level the BTS gets to that a lot of these groups can't get to. You get what I mean? Let's go.
They still can sell multiple versions of the same album with different pictures that fans can collect at a very small price. This will lead to a lot of album sales, but not song sales or streams. So the normal thing for a
I'm just looking at the chat real quick just to see what I missed, guys. I'm sorry if anybody watches this later on takes this personal. I apologize about that. But again, feel free to fast forward. Anytime I'm looking at the chat or talking to the chat, you can fast forward, hit the screen a couple times. You know, it'll go up 10-15 seconds. Right here, Cat, what's good, Cat? How are you? Cat is saying to me, when you stop moving, you're gonna get replaced. Remember that there was a Pele before Messi. Yeah, but Pele is not. You can't compare Messi with Pele. The amount of goals Messi has, the amount of assists, and in Pele they counted goals for him that were versus college teams, pretty much. But back then they used to play versus like very, very weak sides. So they counted goals versus nobodies, versus, you know what I mean, college students, pretty much. So Messi, he's the only player that has 8 Ballon d'Ors, which is the individual. It's like a Grammy. Think of it as a Grammy. He's the only player that has 8. The next player under him has 5, and that's Ronaldo. That's Cristiano Ronaldo. Pele's never won a Ballon d'Or. He might have won it once, but Pele did win the World Cup a couple of times. Messi won it once. He won the Copa America a couple of times. I don't know. For me, Messi, looking at both of them play, I've watched Pele play on YouTube. And watching Messi play, the way he plays, it's art, man. It's like art. It's like a canvas, and it's like the pitch, the football pitch is a plain blank canvas, and Messi is just stroking the paint with his play and the way he moves the ball and the way he moves his body, the way he passes the ball, the way he shoots the ball, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. Messi is the things Messi does is crazy. No one else can do. Let's go. And I think BTS have something similar going on.
A lot of album sales, but not song sales or streams. So the normal thing for a real #1 album is to have at least one top 10 song or multiple songs on the Billboard Hot 100, because if an album is popular, then at least one song of the album has to be popular. This doesn't happen with K-pop albums because they are not actually big in the US, but that doesn't matter. These groups technically have a #1 or a #2 album, so entertainment agencies will use this to pretend like they will be the next BTS, because they have the same achievement. Another example, BTS are one of the few artists who can sell out stadium tours these days. This is something extremely hard even for the biggest Western artists you can imagine. So K-pop's strategy to pretend like they also have a stadium tour is to have at least one concert in places like the Bank of California Stadium.
I still think it's crazy, those light bongs, or is that what they're called? Light bongs? That they use in the stadiums for BTS. That's such a smart idea, man. It makes the stadium look so much better, and it makes the concert as a whole just that step better. I like it. I want to go one day to a concert like this and have one of them light bongs.
Also have a stadium tour is to have at least one concert in places like the Bank of California Stadium, which doesn't actually have a stadium capacity. It has an arena capacity of only 20,000 people. A stadium.
Cat is saying, what? You need to take account of the times. No, I definitely do. But then also at the same time, take time into account for Messi's end, not just Pele's end. Messi's playing versus elite footballers nowadays. Every footballer has their own team of nutritionists. They have their own team of trainers. They have their own team of this and that and this and that. Back then, it was just one nutritionist for the entire team. You get what I mean? It wasn't like it was all size fits all. It wasn't every player to their. So Messi right now, in his age, he's playing versus elite footballers, whereas Pele at his time played versus a bunch of nobodies. Again, I keep going back to a bunch of nobodies, and I don't like to call these teams nobodies, but there really are nobodies. He was playing in Brazil versus really weak sides. He was playing in, I don't know, he was just playing versus a lot of weaker sides. Whereas Messi, in the newer times, plays versus very, very good sides and versus very good players. So that's my point, my argument to you. Let's go.
At least one concert in places like the Bank of California Stadium, which doesn't actually have a stadium capacity. It has an arena capacity of only 20,000 people. A stadium is just part of the arena venue's name. An actual stadium tour, like BTS's tours, is composed of multiple concerts in stadiums with 40,000 to 80,000 seats in each concert. So thanks to media play, other K-pop groups can be named as the next BTS because they are supposedly having stadium tours when they are actually.
Don't you hate when you hear that? The next BTS. Don't you guys hate when you hear that? Oh, this group is coming out this year and they're dubbed to be the next BTS. Do you guys get worried just for a split of a second? Be honest. Do you guys get a little worried like, damn, what if they do beat BTS? What if that group does come in and they break all the records? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. And you guys probably highly doubt it too, but is there a small worry? At least a small bit of a worry?
To 80,000 seats in each concert. So thanks to media play, other K-pop groups can be named as the next BTS because they are supposedly having stadium tours when they are actually performing in arenas, theaters, and one arena venue that has a stadium in its name. These type of strategies are very common. Whenever BTS does something, the K-pop industry focuses on that something. This is why K-pop groups started submitting their work to the Grammys only after BTS started getting nominations to the Grammys. And not only that, but if BTS is nominated to Best Pop Duo Group Performance, the media's attention is on Best Pop Duo Group Performance. So K-pop groups submit their songs for this category. One of the latest BTS Grammy nominations is for Best Music Video. This is a new achievement for them because they've never been nominated for this category. So I can assure you that next year, K-pop groups will start submitting their music videos for this category, and the media will drop predictions saying that submitting their music videos for this category, and the media will drop predictions saying that they will also be nominated because the industry only goes after what BTS already has. All of these were the next BTS.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something right now. What was I gonna say? Right when I paused it, I forgot too. Come on, man.
All of these were the next BTS K-pop attempts. But what about Western attempts? In a video I made some time ago, I went through the multiple.
Do you guys notice that in the US, the whole boy band thing just kind of died down like a long time ago? I know it's still a big thing in Korea and in the, in the eastern part of the world. It's still a big thing, being boy groups, girl groups, things like that. Even in the Philippines, I react to a lot of Filipino music. And even the hip-hop groups, like straight up, flat out hip-hop group, there's no pop at all. There's no pop whatsoever. It's straight up hip-hop, like X Battalion, for example. There's still a lot of groups out there. Whereas in the US, that whole like style of, let's get a group together, and I don't know, it just died down. There was once a time where there was Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, God knows what. And then I feel like the most recent one was One Direction, maybe? And there was another one maybe that was like very, very popular in the last decade. But besides that, it hasn't really been a big thing in the US. Boy bands. Let's go.
Attempts. But what about Western attempts? In a video I made some time ago, I went through the multiple attempts of creating the next big boy band after One Direction. And these attempts came around 2016.
You mentioned One Direction.
2016 and 2017, when BTS were rising to popularity in the West. And
hey, we got Lindsay in here, one of my loyal subscribers that's always helping me out with comments and stuff like that. Everyone say hello to Lindsay. What's good, Lindsay? Good to see you in here. Let's go back 10 seconds.
multiple attempts of creating the next big boy band after One Direction, and these attempts came around 2016 and 2017 when BTS were rising to popularity in the West and were named the biggest group in the world. However, I don't think these new boy bands were trying to be the next BTS, because BTS were fairly new and BTS were seen as a fluke or a weird phenomenon that will last probably 1 or 2 years, but year after year passed by.
Now, for me, there could be boy groups in the U.S. and in the Western world and all that, but you don't really hear of them. They don't get big. They don't get as big as Drake or Eminem or the big artists that are now out in the U.S. They don't get that big anymore. I don't know. Unless there is a big group now that I don't know about. Maybe.
Weird phenomenon that will last probably 1 or 2 years, but year after year passed by and the multiple new Western boy bands, which were backed by the biggest Western music labels, kept failing trying to surpass BTS, and not even the biggest comebacks of popular old boy bands could compete against BTS. So in 2019, Simon Cowell, the creator of One Direction, had the amazing idea of creating a new British group that would become bigger than BTS, and said that his UK pop group will destroy the K-pop group which is ruling the world.
We're going to try and find either the biggest boy group in the world or the biggest girl group in the world. We've done it before, we're going to do it again.
I bet you failed. I bet you failed. Not better than BTS at least. At least not better than BTS. Or did he? Let's find out.
Right now, K-pop, you could argue, is ruling the world. Now, it's time for UK pop.
So his singing show The X Factor had a special season called The X Factor The Band, dedicated to group together a boy band and a girl band. These two groups would then compete against each other, and the winner would get a record deal with Simon Cowell's label Psycho Music, release their debut album, and become the biggest group in the world. In the end, the boy band Simon created ended up losing the show, not signing to Psycho Music, and
Damn. They ended up losing the show?
breaking up a few
Well, I mean, he did say he's gonna be either a boy group or a girl group, so I guess the girl group won.
months after their creation. The girl group did get a record deal with Psycho Music, but they never released a debut album, and one of the 6 members left the group to pursue a solo career. In 2022, they left Psycho Music, signed to Warner Records, and another member left the group. Another attempt of creating the next BTS failed once again.
The American Music Award goes to
That seems like a decent award. The American Music Award? That seems like a decent award to win. You don't need the Grammys. Screw the Grammys. What you need, the Scammies? Nah.
The latest attempt of finding the next BTS joined the forces of the K-pop industry and the biggest representative of the Western music industry, Billboard. The K-Billboard Awards was an event organized by the K-Culture Festival and Billboard, which attempted to highlight the biggest achievements of K-pop artists based on the Billboard charts. The organizer said, "This is part of our mission to find the next BTS. We will strictly adhere to Billboard."
But why? Why are they trying to find the next BTS? I mean, I guess money is a big aspect of it because they all want to make money. These big companies want to build a BTS that sells a lot of records, that sells arenas, because they want money. At the end of the day, it's all money. At the end of the day, money talks. You know what I mean? For everything. Everything in life. As much as you hate money, as much as some people hate money, as much as some people might be like, money is a materialistic thing for me. I don't care about money. But yet you have a phone. Yet you have a car that you have to pay for. Yet you have rent that you pay for. How are you going to say you don't care about money when you have all these things to pay for? I respect a homeless person that tells me that. I'll respect a homeless person that's like, oh, I'm not into materialistic things or, you know, money and all that. I don't care for that. I respect it. I respect his opinion. I'm like, damn, you're living that life. You're really about that life. But if someone that has a phone and a car and a house and this and that and clothes and they go out and shopping and all that and they say, oh, money is just a materialistic thing. Oh, we don't care about money. My ass. My ass. Let's go.
Biggest achievements of K-pop artists based on the Billboard charts. The organizer said, "This is part of our mission to find the next BTS. We will strictly adhere to Billboard's point system." But do you know what happens when you adhere to Billboard's point system?
What?
BTS wins. So they also named the second place as the winners, continuing their strategy to associate K-pop groups with BTS, even when the gap between first and second place is abysmal.
There's been so many legends to walk through this door. There's been Frank Sinatra, the Beatles, Dean Martin, and now we have, wait for it, the Avengers of K-pop.
SM's founder, Lee Sung-man, was the one with the idea of creating the Avengers of K-pop, and this was one of his multiple attempts of creating the next BTS. But since he fails every time, at some point, the media started naming him as the mastermind behind BTS, when he literally had zero relation to the group. He was actually managing groups that tried to directly compete against BTS. But
Here's the thing, and I'm sorry to interrupt her in the middle of her sentence. I'm gonna let her finish next time, I promise. BTS, why are people trying to copy the blueprint of BTS and what they did? Because that, again, we go to all size fits all, you know, or one size fits all. We go back to that theory. Just because it worked for BTS, it doesn't mean it's gonna work for any other group. I talked about it last time we did one of these videos here, and I said luck and dedication, but predominantly luck also. It just plays a big part, you know, being at the right place at the right time at certain time. I'm not saying that they got lucky. Don't get me wrong. Don't get that mixed up, because I know a lot of fight went into becoming who they were. I know a lot of dedication went into that, a lot of willpower, a lot of mental strength, a lot of physical strength for the dancing and all that. A lot went into what became BTS eventually, as we know now today. But just because it worked for BTS, it doesn't mean that you copy and paste exactly what BTS does and do it, because their formula might be disastrous for another group. You get what I mean? It might be the worst formula for any other group. The formula that worked for BTS. Other groups have to find their own formula that's going to work. They can't look at BTS's formula and be like, oh, let's just take that and do exactly what they did. That's not going to work. It's not. You're not going to take the right places at the right time, the luck that came with it, the fight that came with it. You're not going to be able to copy and paste those things. You might be able to copy and paste the formula itself, like starting a company, you know, starting an umbrella company, and then from the umbrella company, go to smaller companies, and then from there you can look at BTS and take their style of singing, their style of how they put the group together. You can take the amount of people, but you can never take the fight that they put in. You can never take and copy and paste the luck that they had. You can never copy and paste the dedication that they put in. All of that has to come from the group, the new group. Let's go. So I don't know. I just don't understand when these groups, new groups, are like, oh, let's just look at BTS and take from them. It's not gonna work for you, man. It's not. That's how it works for everything else. Just because something worked for you, it doesn't mean it's gonna work for me. Let's go.
Naming him as the mastermind behind BTS, when he literally had zero relation to the group. He was actually managing groups that.
I just want to look at the chat real quick, see what you guys are saying. Nate Jones saying BTS bring in more a year than the industry biggest group combined. That's crazy. That is wild. Cat is saying there may be groups that will beat BTS numbers, but no group will break barriers the way BTS did. They became a blueprint of how a boy group should be. True. Very, very true. And Lori saying touch? Touch? Cole A saying even Bang PD. I don't know who Bang PD is. Said that he doesn't know how BTS was able to become the group they are. Yeah, exactly. What worked for them. They were there at the right place at the right time, guys. In a lot of different places, not just once. They were in the right place at the right time multiple times. It worked for that point. It worked for this point. It worked for the other point. It worked for the not. You know what I mean? They different points of their careers. They were at the right place at the right time. That plays a big part of it. Not even hype created the next BTS. Western will never even know from where to begin with. Exactly. That's right, Cat. Even TXT can't be the next BTS. No one can. The name is Namjoon, and so is the answer. Namjoon. Okay, let's go.
Avengers of K-pop.
SM's founder, Lee Sung-man, was the one with the idea of creating the Avengers of K-pop, and this was one of his multiple attempts of creating the next BTS. But since he fails every time, at some point, the media started naming him as the mastermind behind BTS, when he literally had zero relation to the group. He was actually managing groups that tried to directly compete against BTS. But he is not the only one. The three biggest K-pop labels are pushing the idea that their groups are actually the next BTS. SM had the Avengers of K-pop, but since they are on a hiatus, he is now pushing a 4-member girl group to become the future of K-pop.
Now, I don't understand how BTS's company is not one of the big three. After all the successful years that they've had, after all the money that they brought in to the company, after all the stadiums they sold out and everything they've done, all the records they broke, how come Hype or Big Hit, how come they're not one of the big three now? How come they didn't knock one of the big three out and take their place? That's one thing I don't understand until now. Because what are the big three companies doing that BTS isn't doing for them to become part of the big three? You get what I mean? What's happening?
Why?
Let's go.
Yes, he is now pushing a 4-member girl group to become the future of K-pop. YG is using media play and allegedly buying awards in small American award shows to pretend like his biggest girl group is on the same level as BTS. And most recently, JYP had Korean media suddenly releasing multiple articles naming his group as the next BTS. I don't think this is a coincidence. This all seems like premeditated media play. But how is it that they keep failing, even with all the media play they can get? I found some common factors in their failed attempts. First is lack of originality. If BTS releases an album trilogy about self-love and acceptance, K-pop starts singing about self-love and acceptance.
Love yourself. As I began to love myself.
If BTS releases a song like
Wait, hold on. I didn't understand that. What's the whole love myself? Wait. Sorry, guys.
they keep failing, even with all the media play they can get. I found some common factors in their failed attempts. First is lack of originality. If BTS releases an album trilogy about self-love and acceptance, K-pop starts singing about...
that's what... Okay, that's her point. I didn't get that at first. So they're basically saying that other groups are pretty much copy and pasting what BTS is doing. If they're talking about self-love, then all the other groups are gonna randomly suddenly start talking about self-love and stuff like that. So they're pretty much copy pasting
self-love and acceptance.
Love yourself.
That's so weird to me, man. That's so cringe and weird to me that these groups are doing exactly what BTS is doing, thinking that it's gonna work for them. And for the most part, it is. It's funny because they're not failed groups. Like, they're making music videos, they're getting paid, they're part of big companies, they might not be making as much money as BTS is making, but they're still not failed groups, right? Or are they failed groups? If you try to imitate BTS, then you're a failed group, maybe. I don't know. Because I don't know. What is considered a failed group? I know she's explaining it here that these groups are failing at trying to be BTS, but what is considered a failed group?
I began to love myself.
If BTS releases a song like Fake Love, K-pop groups immediately release songs with a dark aesthetic. BTS stops the dark aesthetic and releases Boy With Love. K-pop groups release songs with a pink aesthetic. BTS releases a song titled Life Goes On. K-pop releases Life Is Still Going On. BTS releases Smooth Like Butter. K-pop releases Sweet Like Mango. And
that is so weird, man. That is so weird.
BTS releases Smooth Like Butter, K-pop releases Sweet Like Mango. And these are just trivial examples that don't really matter much. The key here is lack of originality. K-pop does the same thing over and over again, and that is not necessarily a bad thing for a K-pop audience. But if you keep trying to make this work in a Western audience, you will keep failing. Number 2 is trying to be unique in the wrong aspect. When the next BTS attempts actually try to be original, they sometimes try to be original original in everything but the music. An example of this is SM's attempt of creating a metaverse group with 4 members who are real people and 4 members who are their virtual alter egos. So producers are not trying to find unique, interesting artists with new, rare, or just not so common musical elements. They are trying to create groups that are different in aspects that music fans don't care about.
That makes sense. That does make sense. They're focusing on bringing in groups together that they're focusing on the wrong thing, pretty much, is basically what she's saying. They're focusing on bringing in people with the wrong intentions, the wrong idea, the wrong character. They're bringing in the wrong everything. They're bringing in the wrong everything for it to work out for them. And they're basing it based off of BTS.
They are trying to create groups that are different in aspects that music fans don't care about. I personally think that the Avengers of K-pop idea was not the worst idea ever, but they focused too much on everything except for the music. SM tried to sell the idea that this group's unique aspect was that, unlike BTS and the others, the members had a manly man aesthetic. But who cares if they look like masculine men with black clothes who are called the Avengers when their music is this?
You know how you get down. How we get down,
By the way, if you like this song, it's
that was petty of her, man. That was very petty of Boracity magazine. Oh man, put in the clips where they sound the worst. But I mean, that to be fair, those songs did sound horrible. I can't lie. I can't sit here and lie. I'm sorry if there's any Super M fans out there, but these songs, they're not hitting it. They're not hitting.
You know how you get down, drop it. How we get down, drop it.
I can't even bop to it. Nah, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right bopping to this song. Let's try it again.
When their music is this.
You know how you get down, drop it. How we get down.
Nah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Wait. Nah,
by the way, if you like this song, it's completely fine. I'm just saying that I think we can all understand why it didn't succeed in America. So once they failed, they left the manly man aesthetic and went back to the first mistake. Right after BTS released their first English single Dynamite and sang about shining through the city and being like Diamond, this group changed Diamond for Gold and sang in English about shining bright like gold. And don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with following music trends, but if that's all you do, you won't stand out, especially when you're...
That's exactly what I was talking about. If that's all you do is just take cultural, what's it called? You know, cultural things into your music, you know what I mean? And all you do is take from the music industry and what's going on, what's hot in the music industry, and you take that, that's all you're doing in your music, then that won't work.
Trying so hard to create the next BTS. Number 3 is the lack of raw talent. Pretty people singing with loud pre-recorded vocals.
That's what it seems like. They bring in pretty people, pretty girls to sing that have a decent voice, but they're not really looking at their character. They're not looking at if this artist goes on an interview, how are they gonna sound? How are they gonna make the label look good? Are they gonna make the label look bad? Are they gonna look, you know what I mean? Like, they're not looking at these. I don't know. For me, I like details. I look into everything into detail, even editing, even filming, even whatever it is, at work, at home, I'm cleaning, whatever it may be, cleaning my car. I'm always looking for small details. Even when I'm trying to get a story out of someone, you want to ask them every corner of a question to be able to get the truth out of them. And to be able to get the full story from someone, you want to ask as many questions as possible. And I'm that person. I'm that type of person that if you tell me you went to a volcano and you almost fell down, I'm the type of person that's going to ask you 100 questions of how it was. You know what I mean? Let's go. But they're just hiring, these groups are just hiring pretty girls, no character maybe. Let's go.
3 is the lack of raw talent. Pretty people singing with loud pre-recorded vocals or playback are almost a rule in K-pop. But that won't work if you want to be the next BTS and you're debuting in America.
Why does that look so odd? The way they're dancing, it's like slow motion almost. And it's like they almost look uninterested. Their facial expressions, they almost look uninterested. Look. She looks so uninterested. This girl in the middle right here. She looks so uninterested. Holla.
K-pop is prioritizing looks way more than it should be.
Yeah.
YG admitted that his biggest girl group was just a prettier version of a previous girl group. He said, "If you ask me to distinguish my new group from my last group, I want to say I did not try to make them different. If you ask me what differentiates them from other girl groups, I will say I did not form them with that in mind. I tried to make a girl group like I did with my previous girl group, but this time I wanted the girls to look pretty too. I won't pretend like looks don't matter in the Western music industry, because they do, but good
Stray
looks..."
Kids. Hey, Stray Kids. The only other group that I've listened to when it comes to K-pop is BTS and Stray Kids. I've reacted to maybe 5 or 6 songs by Stray Kids, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, they're not bad. They're not bad. I like their style. They're not BTS at all. But they're not bad. If I had to pick a close, not a close second. If I had to pick a second for a group, if I absolutely have to, then I would pick Stray Kids as my second favorite. You get what I mean? If that makes sense. But my project, my reactions, the project that I'm focusing on the most right now is BTS. Being able to release some solo projects by each artist. I already did the first 4 albums. I'm working on the 5th one right now. I did Too Cool for School. I did Oh Are You Late Too. I did School Love Affair, Dark and Wild, and now I am in the process of doing The Best Moment in Life Part 1. So go check all that out after this live stream, guys. Make sure you hit the like button on those. Leave me a comment on those. All that really definitely does help me out in the long run. So please, guys, go check them out after this. Let's go.
My last group, I want to say I did not try to make them different. If you ask me what differentiates them from other girl groups, I will say I did not form them with that in mind. I tried to make a girl group like I did with my previous girl group, but this time I wanted the girls to look pretty too. I won't pretend like looks don't matter in the Western music industry, because they do, but good looks and a nice aesthetic is not enough. Korean labels need to start prioritizing at least a little of talent and passion for music. Finally, I think the next BTS...
Like what how does it make sense to hire someone in your group that doesn't have the passion for music and doesn't have a good voice or talent? Maybe they have a small voice, it's a small little talent. No, you want to hire someone that stands out, man. You want to hire someone that sticks out. You want to bring in someone that I don't know, someone that has talent, that has character.
At least a little of talent and passion for music. Finally, I think the next BTS attempts keep failing because music labels are obsessed with control and being the main character. I think they want to control all of their group's steps because the CEOs want to be recognized for finding and paying the best songwriters in the industry, instead of encouraging their interpreters to be artists. I think this is why JYP had articles putting his picture on his group's articles, so he can be called the mastermind behind the next BTS. This is also why SM was everywhere saying that he was the one with the idea of creating the Avengers of K-pop and the Metaverse group.
So I'm a little confused. Who's the Avengers of K-pop? Is it BTS that's called the Avengers of K-pop, or is it the Super M that's the Avengers? I thought it was Super M. That is the Avengers.
One with the idea of creating the Avengers of K-pop and the Metaverse group.
I want to take the time to acknowledge a very special guest we have in the building. We have producer, Mr. Suga.
That's not what BTS's label did, and that's not what Namjoon did as the leader of BTS. They let the group shine as a group. With that said, I don't think it's necessarily bad that the producers behind a group explain the process of creating a group, but the focus should be on the group and their music, not on the CEOs. Number 5 is not accepting that BTS are way too out of their league.
Is it just me, but do these issues sound very easy to take care of? Those issues, those mistakes that she's talking about, why do they seem very, very easy for them to not take those mistakes, make those mistakes? Not accepting that BTS are out of their league. Just accept it. What's so hard about accepting it and moving on and doing your own thing? Why is it that, oh, I want my group to be better than BTS? I mean, I understand people are competitors in general. Naturally, subconsciously, we are competitors. We like to compete and we like to do the best that we can and we like to be in first place if it's ideal for us. you know? So I understand that aspect that other groups want to beat BTS, but right now you can't. At this moment in time, you can't. So why not just accept it and don't do these mistakes that Boracity magazine is talking about? All these mistakes are not even hard to not do. Like, what's number 4? Let's go back to number 4 real quick. Here. Control. They have no control. Give them control. You know what I mean? It's easy stuff to fix. Let's go.
A group, but the focus should be on the group and their music, not on the CEOs. Number 5 is not accepting that BTS are way too out of their league. This person tweeted, "It all boils down to these labels refusing to accept that BTS is not just a K-pop group anymore. They are talked about in actual pop conversations. They have solidified a legacy. They are literally worldwide A-listers, global artists. Music labels make every move based off the fact that, well, they are a K-pop group, so the world must all love and want more K-pop. And that's just not how it works. That's why they keep failing."
That's like with hip hop. It's like, if you like one rapper, then you should like the whole. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of torn between that. Because I'm thinking, because for me, hip hop is my favorite genre. I love hip hop. Hip hop for me is what does that one thing to my head, to my brain. I love it. I love hip hop. So if someone just comes in and says, "Oh, I only like Tupac," for example, that's only who I like in hip hop, then you're a plastic fan. I'm thinking in my head, then you might be a plastic fan. Plastic fan as a fake fan, fake hip hop fan. How are you gonna like hip hop? How are you gonna call yourself a hip hop fan and only like one hip hop artist? You get what I mean? Does that make any sense at all? So maybe that's where their people are getting that from. Like, you can't just like BTS. You can't say you're a K-pop fan and just like BTS. You gotta like all K-pop. At least if you want to say you like K-pop, say K-pop. Because I think one of you guys did tell me when talking about BTS, don't say K-pop. Say idol music or idol... What was it? Idol music or something. Idol music. So there's a small difference. If you like K-pop, come out there and just say, "I like K-pop and I like this group, I like this group, I like this group, I like that group." But if you're a BTS fan, just be a BTS fan. You're an idol music fan. You're an army, and that's it. You get what I mean? But I don't know. For me in hip hop, if you tell me I'm a hip hop fan, and I'm like, "Okay, who's your favorite?" I only listen to Tupac. That's all I listen to. No one else. Then in my head, automatically, I'm gonna be like, I don't know if you're a hip-hop fan. You might be a fake one. You're like a plastic hip-hop fan that only likes one artist. That might pop in my head. So I don't know if it's the same thing for BTS or not. Let's go.
Make every move based off the fact that, well, they are a K-pop group, so the world must all love and want more K-pop. And that's just not how it works. That's why they keep failing. So I guess if you as a producer or record label really want to create or be the mastermind behind the next BTS in terms of popularity, you need to look for very unique artists that are not necessarily going to be part of a group like BTS. I may be saying complete nonsense now because I'm not a record producer or anything like that, but the actual record producers and analysts have been studying BTS closely for years and they keep failing. So this is just what a simple music fan like me.
Yeah, they're failing because they keep studying BTS, man. Instead of doing their own thing and instead of making their own industry and making their own... What's the word when you build an empire? Building your own empire? They're looking at BTS and they want to copy what BTS did. What's so hard about not copying what BTS did? That's like me copying exactly what No Life Shaq does, for example. I'm not going to copy and paste everything No Life Shaq does, even though he's one of the most successful reactors on YouTube. Am I going to look at him and see what works for him and what doesn't work for him and take some ideas and bring him into my own and put my own twist in it? Yes, I am. You best believe I am. But am I going to copy and paste exactly what he does? Like a lot of these reactors do. They copy and paste No Life Shaq. They copy and paste Knox Hill. A couple other big ones. A couple other big reactors. I don't know. I'm a firm believer in doing your own thing, and if that works, it works, and you're good. It's a risk, high risk, high reward. I'm a believer in that. I'm not a believer in I don't know. In certain, I see. I go back and forth, guys. Because also at the same time, taking something taking something from another group or from someone else, another company, another, you know what I mean, and putting it into your own and learning is also a good thing. It's also something that you can build upon. But for me, I'm all about risk and reward. I'm gonna do my own thing. If it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. That's how I am. That's at least how I am. Let's go.
Or anything like that, but the actual record producers and analysts have been studying BTS closely for years, and they keep failing. So this is just what a simple music fan like me would do. Number one, if you want to create the next big artist in America, you need to first focus on the music. Looks.
Yes, there we go. That's the part I'm looking for right here. What you can do to make it make it in the industry and to make it as a group. Let's see.
Want to create the next big artist in America, you need to first focus on the music. Looks are great, but every single K-pop group has good looks. You need to step up your music game. You cannot debut in America with a song about being the best at jumping.
You have to tell me what jopping means.
Jumping
Yes.
and popping.
Jopping, of course. Why did I ask?
Number two, and this also applies to Western attempts. Don't be mediocre and lazy. The reason why every single attempt of the next big boy band failed in 2016 and 2017,
Mediocre.
and also the reason why the comeback of all boy bands failed too, was because they were extremely mediocre when compared to BTS. This is the main reason why it's highly unlikely to find the next BTS, because BTS did not only set the bar extremely high for K-pop, but also for the Western music industry. So stop comparing yourself to BTS, because that is a game that you are going to lose. Yep. Number three, and this is for music labels, be patient. The Beatles, Michael Jackson, Queen, and BTS did not become the biggest artists in the world with their first release. Don't try to force or fake a big debut when it really isn't a big debut. And more importantly,
that's also like weird when they try to force a big debut or like a big show and no one really shows up. I don't know.
Force or fake a big debut when it really isn't a big debut. And more importantly, don't.
What's the saying? Don't bite what you can chew. Oh no, don't bite what you can chew. What is it? Don't bite more than you can handle or something like that. Don't bite more than you can chew. Something like that. That saying goes really, really well with the rest of the K-pop groups. Or the groups that are trying to be like BTS. They're chewing more than they're... You get what I mean? You know that saying? You guys know that saying. Come on, guys. You guys know that saying. They're chewing a lot more than they can bite. Let's go.
Or fake a big debut when it really isn't a big debut. And more importantly, don't be like Simon Cowell or SM and abandon your group when the media play didn't work. Small debuts are not necessarily a bad thing. The ones trying to create the next BTS are some of the biggest labels. So instead of spending all this money...
Yes, don't bite off more than you can chew. Exactly. Thank you, Lori and Cole. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, these groups are biting more than they can chew. You know what I mean? They're biting a lot more than what they can chew. And they're failing at it. And that's why they're failing. That's like me... That is like me opening up a restaurant. You know what I mean? I just opened up a brand new restaurant. And I've stocked it up to the max. Bread, I got bread times 10. It's rice, I got rice times 10. Plates for the dining room, I got plates for all the tables, plus another 100 on top of that. You get what I mean? Steaks. I got way more steaks than I needed. If you just open up a restaurant, get a small amount of things. So that way you see how it's selling. You get sold out, that's great. That means that your people are liking your food. But never prepare to open up a restaurant or do anything expecting it to get very busy from the start. And then end up ordering so many stuff that end up going bad. So many different items that end up going bad. That end up not getting used. And then that goes a big margin of money that you've used to open up that restaurant towards the stocking up the restaurant. And it ends up failing. Now you're down the restaurant. And you're down the food, the extra food that you got. Let's go.
ones trying to create the next BTS are some of the biggest labels. So instead of spending all this money in fake achievements and media play, try to spend this money in keeping your group alive as long as you can so they can musically and artistically grow. Number 4, be different. If you really want to have a big debut like Olivia Rodrigo or Justin Bieber, look for what the music industry is missing, not what it already has. When Olivia Rodrigo debuted, the industry didn't have a Disney star sing about her love life for years. And when Justin Bieber debuted, he became the first teenage heartthrob born on the internet. Find something different, because BTS's level of artistry takes years to replicate.
Yep, you gotta find something different, man. You gotta, and by the way, shout out, much respect to everyone that's in the chat. We got like 22, 25 people in here. Shout out to every single one of you guys. Much love. Please, guys, hit the like button so this video can reach more people. I see you guys. Just know that I see you guys. Much love. I know I'm focusing on the video, and that's a promise that I did for the first couple guides that I did. I wasn't focused on the video. I was focused on the video, but it didn't look like it. It looked like I kept looking at my chat back and forth like this, and I wasn't focused on the video. But a lot of people, what they don't know is I have this same video that's playing that I'm looking at right now here, straight ahead. The same video is playing on this screen as well. So when I turn around and I look at the chat, in those videos, in those prior videos, the ones that I did, the first couple guides that I did, I'm looking at the chat and I'm on watching the video at the same time. So a lot of the times you'll see me looking like the video is playing and I'm just looking to my side. So I got a lot of comments that tell me, what are you doing looking to your side? Like, why you're not looking at the video? You're not focusing on the video. You keep looking to your side. Like, what's at your side? But really, sometimes I just caught myself looking at the video on this screen, forgetting that there's a camera filming me. And I'm just genuinely interested on what she's saying on the guide, that I end up just looking at this screen rather than looking at this screen. But I do have both videos here. So just in case people get mad at me, I don't want people to get mad at me, please. A lot of people got mad at me the first guide or the first 2 guides that I put out. But I'm trying my best. I'm getting better at it, guys. I am getting better at the lives. I'm getting better at focusing on the screen, not focusing on the chat as much, and then focusing on the chat when necessary. So that being said, let's go ahead and continue. Boom.
Find something different, because BTS's level of artistry takes years to replicate. BTS did not have a huge debut in South Korea, but when they entered the Western music industry, they had already perfected for more than 4 years artistic elements that the Western music industry didn't see before. In other words, to find the next BTS, you need to stop trying to find the next BTS. You may think that right now is the right time to create the next BTS, because BTS are not releasing music as a 7-member group for the next 2 years. But the fact that they are still planning to release a lot of music during this time
just real quick, I'm gonna go back a little bit and then listen to that again. But just real quick in the chat, take your own pace. All good. Thank you, Nate. Much appreciated, Nate Jones. Randy, what's good, Randy? How are you? Artie, what's good, Artie? Welcome to the chat. Lindsay saying BTS wants other groups to break through. That's their thing. They want to pave the way for other groups to be free to be successful, but not by copying. Yep, true. Randy, are you going to watch other videos after that? Yes, I am, actually. I definitely am. So please stick around, guys. Stick around. Join it. We are going to be watching more videos after this. Actually, as a matter of fact, this video is almost done. It has about 2 or 3 minutes left. I want you guys in the chat to let me know what to watch next, BTS related. What do you guys want me to watch next after this video? The Rise of Bangtan, I did start doing, and it has its own playlist too. I don't know why I haven't gotten back to that, but I do need to get back into the Rise of Bangtan. I'm on like chapter 5 or chapter 6 or something like that. We can do that chapter next if you guys want. Or leave it in the chat what you guys want me to do next after this video, and we'll pick one of the ones you guys choose. Let's go.
Find the next BTS. You may think that right now is the right time to create the next BTS, because BTS are not releasing music as a 7-member group for the next 2 years. But the fact that they are still planning to...
Well, that's almost done soon, right? What this was 2 years ago. This was literally 2 years ago. Guys, in the chat or later on watching this video, let me know, when do you think they're going to be dropping a new album? When do you think BTS or they're going to be dropping new music? When are they supposed to be done with the army, with the military duties? And as soon as they get back, obviously they're gonna have to take a break. They're probably gonna take a year break with their families and whatnot before they start working on music again. So I think personally, based off of me, based off of what I saw in the last couple of weeks of BTS and what you guys have been telling me, I personally think they're not gonna release music until the next year, until at least 2026.
To release a lot of music during this time is not a good sign to continue creating groups that resemble them. The Backstreet Boys took a 4-year hiatus, and during this time, no other boy band could become as big or bigger than them. And BTS's level of performance and music, as well as worldwide popularity, is even bigger and harder to replicate than the one of the Backstreet Boys. This is how hard it will forever be to replicate BTS. Even if the BTS members release no music at all during this time or any other time in the future, that actually leaves K-pop at disadvantage in the Western music industry, because all the hype around K-pop is born with an interest in BTS.
There is that again. There's that graph again. So BTS takes more than half of that the graph. Blackpink takes the second part. Twice as bigger. Now, Stray Kids have gotten much bigger now, because we all watch. You guys watched it with me. One of the guides that I did on my channel. This same graph right here. It was a more recent video from Boracity magazine, and Stray Kids had the biggest second one. They had the second biggest slice of the pizza, right? But now right here, 2 years ago, Blackpink had it. So Blackpink must have been more popular than Stray Kids, whereas now Stray Kids are more popular than Blackpink. I don't know. Let's go.
The Western music industry, because all the hype around K-pop is born with an interest in BTS. K-pop's achievements in the West are not K-pop's achievements, they are BTS's achievements. So if BTS stops being BTS, K-pop will definitely be bigger than what they were before 2017, but they will go back to being a niche interest, because the ones giving K-pop the title of mainstream are BTS only. Without them, K-pop has no legendary records in the West. I know it's hard to believe because of all the media play that exists trying to devalue BTS's popularity and art, but musical acts like BTS are once in a lifetime. We don't know if the next big thing is even going to be a group from South Korea or a boy band from the UK. By the way things are going on right now, there are more chances of having the next big legendary artist come from a Spanish-speaking country, and there are way more chances for these legendary artists to be a soloist, but that would only happen by promoting the artist.
That was Bad Bunny, right? Am I right or am I wrong? This guy right here, isn't that Bad Bunny?
Legendary artists come from a Spanish-speaking country, and there are way more chances for these legendary artists to be a soloist, but that would only happen by promoting the artist as their own authentic self. And this is something that BTS is doing right now while they...
When is their anniversary, guys? When is BTS's anniversary?
They release as their own authentic self. And this is something that BTS is doing right now while they release solo albums. So it looks like the next BTS is BTS, not only because their comeback in 2025 will be extremely hard to match, but also it looks like all the K-pop categories in Western award shows will go for BTS members either way. Even in South Korea, J-Hope, the only BTS member who has released a solo album until now, already has 6 award nominations, including Song of the Year and Artist of the Year, against himself in BTS. So stop.
I wonder, because they're all part of hype, right? I wonder if each solo project, if each member gets a percentage of it. For example, J-Hope, she just talked about how J-Hope released the only project out of all of them at that time. Did he have to share the portions of his portion of the sales with the other members? Because they're all part of the same umbrella, they're all part of the same it's hype that's releasing the music. I don't know. Someone let me know.
Including Song of the Year and Artist of the Year, against himself in BTS. So stop trying to find the next BTS, because number 1, BTS is still here, and number 2, you're setting your groups up for failure. Music labels, K-pop fans, and the media need to wake up and stop humiliating their groups like this. Let your performers become artists. Let them be small so they can grow, and let them grow organically, because that was BTS's story, and they did not become the next somebody. They became the first BTS.
사실 저는 제2의 방탄소년단, 제2의 뭐뭐가 좀 존재하지 않는다고 생각을 해요. 저희도 이제.
That's it. Shout out to this video, man. What a good video. This was a very, very interesting, knowledgeable, plenty of information type of video. I definitely respect it. Now let me look at the chat to see what video you guys want us to do next. I feel like I learned a lot from this video. Much respect to Boracity magazine for these videos. Let me see what you guys want me to do next here. So, respect your seniors, mock your juniors. I thought I did that one. Respect your seniors? Yeah, I did that one already. That one's done. Respect your seniors, mock your juniors. That one's already done. It's in one of my guides and under my BTS videos playlist. So if you go to my BTS playlist, it should be under there. Let me see here. 613. Respect. They said they're going to revisit HYYH. June Festo also. Guys, give me some ideas of what video you want me to do next by Boracity magazine. Or I can just pick a random one here from their... Hold on, let me show you guys something. So if you go to Boracity magazine... Hold on, actually... You guys wait with me just for a second. Hello, can you guys hear me? I don't know why the audio was missing. God damn, did I not what part did it cut out at? Do you guys know what part it cut off at? Because I said a lot. I swear to God, I said like 5 minutes worth of things. I'm gonna go to the other screen. Everyone's like audio. I thought I lost my hearing. Nate. Oh man. I apologize about that, guys. I don't know why the audio cut off, but I am gonna go back to that screen. The audio might cut off for just a second. I will bring it back. Give me 1 second. Alright, you guys should be able to hear me now. You guys should be able to hear me on this screen now. Sorry about that, guys. When I moved over to this screen that I'm showing you guys right now, where I'm in the bottom right corner, and the video is behind me. When I moved to that screen, my microphone wasn't on that screen. When I moved to that scene on OBS, my microphone was turned off, so I had to turn it back on. But I said so many different things. I was reading the chat. I was saying, let's get 14 votes in the poll so we can start the next video. Guys, one more vote. 14 votes. All we need is 14 votes to start the next video. And honestly, I don't think one vote is going to matter, because BTS Attendance Award Show is the winner. And I don't think that one vote is going to change that. I don't think that one vote is going to swing it in the favor of the problem with masterminds. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do the BTS Attendance Award Show. Let me make myself a little bigger. I'm going to stay in the bottom right corner right here. And then let's go to it. So BTS Attendance Award Shows. Is it Boracity? It is. Okay. Alright, guys. So the next video that we are watching for BTS today, and specifically for Boracity magazine, is called BTS versus Attendance Award Shows. Based off of what the chat is saying, it is a hilarious video. I think so. Wanda B is saying that it's a funny video. So let's go ahead and check it out, guys. In 3, 2, to the 1, to the let's go.
Before you dislike the video or leave a hate comment.
Before you dislike the video, oh no.
Before you dislike the video or leave a hate comment because you assume my opinion on this, I want to ask everyone to please.
Can you guys hear the video, by the way? I just want to
watch
check
the full video first. My intention is
You guys should be able to hear the video. Good. Let's go.
Not to discredit any artist's music or achievements. What I want is for every fandom to realize that this practice is not good for anyone. It may seem like it's nothing because your favorite artist is winning, but it's actually hurting them and every other artist in the music industry. But let me start with the beginning. A couple of weeks ago, the 2022 Video Music Awards were premiered on MTV. BTS were nominated for 6 categories. 4 of these were fan-voted categories, meaning that the artist with the most votes wins. BTS's large dedicated fandom, ARMY, are without a doubt the biggest voting force in the world. ARMY has not lost a single voting in any big award show in.
Look at this, man. Look how beautiful this looks. I really want to go to one of these and hold a light bong up.
Voting
alongside a real bong, but let's go.
Force in the world. ARMY has not lost a single voting in any big award show in the US or in South Korea. That is, when the voting rules are strictly followed. So that means that BTS were taking home at least 4 awards that night, right? Not really. As ARMYs were already expecting, the winners of every category were being announced throughout the night, and BTS were losing all of them. Several news outlets also reported that another act won Group of the Year, the biggest category BTS were nominated to. But this was before.
And BTS never won that category? Did they ever win it? Did they ever win the Group of the Year from Entertainment Tonight Awards? Or I don't know what that is, Grammys or what. The Grammys I know for a fact they didn't, but did they ever win the Group of the Year? Or New Group of the Year or something like that? Wait, where's the sound? Okay.
Several news outlets also reported that another act won Group of the Year, the biggest category BTS were nominated to. But this was before the winners were officially announced by MTV. So in the end, BTS won a total of 1 award that night. But how did ARMYs and the media already know that BTS were going to lose? The answer is extremely simple. They were not there. And this is not a conspiracy theory or a crazy guess.
Hey yo, welcome to the biggest music party of the year.
The MTV VMAs are probably the most
VMAs.
famous attendance awards, which is when an award show ultimately decides who is going to be the winner of categories they promoted as fan vote.
Hold on, what was that dress?
So ultimately decides who is
Look
going
at this
to
dress,
be
guys.
the winner of categories they
That's a crazy ass dress.
promoted as fan-voted categories. Armies know this, the media knows this, the artists know this, and MTV admits this. Now, you may be thinking, isn't this illegal? Well, it's technically not, because even though MTV promotes in every platform imaginable, telling people to vote for your favorite artist. Here's the link, you need to vote for this category on our website. You need to vote for this on our Instagram. If you go all the way down their official voting rules, which you need to look for yourself because there's not a disclaimer or anything like that before you vote, you can find this. A sponsor reserves the right at its sole discretion to cancel, terminate, amend, modify, extend, or suspend the voting process, and reserves the right in its sole discretion to determine the winners. Read that again. MTV's sponsor reserves the right to determine the winners. So it doesn't matter if an artist loses the votings. If MTV wants them to win, they have the right to do so and not tell you about it. And the media knows this.
That's not fair at all, man. That's not fair. I feel like the fans have a big voice. They need to have a big voice. I feel like the fans need to have a big voice, a big say in who wins these awards. Who's handing out these awards? Who's handing out these awards in a boardroom? Is it a boardroom? Is it who hands these awards out? Like, it has to be the people. It must be the people. It must be the people that, if it's not the people that hand out the awards, it has to be, because it's who listens to the music is the people. Let's go.
The right to determine the winners. So it doesn't matter.
That's why I respect awards always that are fan voted, or people, fan voted ones, because that just tells you the fans who they like the best, and that's just the most accurate to me.
Read that again. MTV's sponsor reserves the right to determine the winners. So it doesn't matter if an artist loses the votings. If MTV wants them to win, they have the right to do so and not tell you about it. And the media knows this. This magazine wrote, "At a sponsor's sole discretion seems to be the key here. MTV has all these rules, but then sticks lines like this in there to ensure that no matter what, it's MTV and not the voters calling the shots." This entertainment critic said for a magazine, "I think it gives credence to the long-standing suspicion that MTV will alter who the awards go to, regardless of fan votes, if an artist is going to be present and or announce something."
Which artist will take home VMA for the video of the year?
The fact that MTV can ultimately choose any winner they want doesn't mean that every winner lost the votes. It
that's messed up.
just means that if the actual winner is not present, MTV will ask one of the losers who is attending if they want to receive the award. If they accept, they will get it, and the actual winner will lose, or at least
Wait, why would they not accept it? If the winner doesn't show up and the award show is like, hey, one of the losers, would you guys want the award? First of all, how messed up is that? How unfair is that? First of all, second of all, hell yeah, I'm taking it. If I get offered an award for someone that didn't come in, I'm taking that shit.
At least this is what it's said by the media and the artists themselves. Ed Sheeran said this for a magazine in 2015.
I know some people in the chat, by the way, they're leaving. They have to go to sleep and whatnot. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining us to begin with. I appreciate you guys so much for being here and giving me your input and your insights. Cat on BTS. I appreciate you so much. Anybody that does leave, shout out to you, man. Shout out for being here in the chat. I always respect everyone that comes in and watches these videos live, and I do respect you guys as well that watch this later on as well, definitely. But the ones that are here live are the real ones. They're the real ones. Let's go.
It's said by the media and the artists.
All of you guys are the real ones, for real. All of you guys are the real ones. The ones that are watching this later and the ones that are watching it in the chat right now. Much love to all of you guys. Let's go.
The actual winner will lose, or at least this is what it's said by the media and the artists themselves. Ed Sheeran said this for a magazine in 2015. "I got the BMA because Pharrell didn't turn up. I did. They said, he's not here. Do you want it?"
I seriously forgot what I gotta say.
The VMAs is one of the most famous award shows in America. So many iconic moments from the music industry happen here. However, it's not considered one of the big three, which are the American Music Awards, the Billboard Music Awards, and the Grammys. And the VMAs are not considered one of the big three because it lacks professionalism. They don't only choose whoever they want as the winners and make it seem like they won the votings, but also the VMAs don't have any clear criteria on why they nominate the artists they nominate. This is something that the big three does carefully.
BTS.
The American
BTS.
Music Awards nominates artists who release music during their eligibility period, have good sales, radio airplay, activity on social networks, and video.
Oh, I'm sorry guys, by the way, I'm blocking. I just realized I'm blocking the subtitles. I'm gonna move them to the top. I'll move the subtitles to the top so you guys can see them. Let's go.
Period. Have good sales, radio airplay, activity on social networks, and video views. These are all public numbers, so it is possible to predict the artists nominated because they follow these criteria. The Billboard Music Awards nominates artists who release music during their eligibility period and have
What does that say? Eligibility period, sales, streams, radio airplay, tourings.
the highest sales, streams, and radio airplay. This is mainly based on their own Billboard charts, so it's even easier to predict the nominated artists because they are right there. If you were present on the Billboard Hot 100, you are going to be nominated. The Grammys are different because they nominate whoever they want based on whatever they want, basically. And the ones who do this are known as the Academy, and they are supposed to be experts from the music industry.
Whoever the Academy wants.
This weak criteria creates so many controversies and corruption problems.
It is corrupt. It is corrupt. It is corrupt to begin with. If you have a bunch of people in a room deciding who wins and not the people, that is corruption right there. That is a corrupted system. That is not an accurate system of who is actually doing good. An accurate system would be looking at statistics. For me personally, statistics and data for me makes the most sense for anything in life. And you got to look at statistics. Who listens to, which group do people listen to the most? BTS. Which group have the most monthly listeners? BTS, for example, monthly listeners. Which group do more people listen to? BTS. You get what I mean? Like, it should be numbers. It should be based off of numbers. Who sold the most records? But not only who sold the most records, because that's just one category, but who also sold the most records, who had the most listens, and you just take all those categories and put them together and you pick which artist has the better combinations. But then one artist might have sold the most and had the most monthly listeners. They need to be contenders. They need to be looked at as a possible winner of the Grammy. Someone else might have also won the most sales, the most monthly listeners, and on top of it, most awards, most sold out stadium attendance. There's different combinations that you can have out of all the categories, and I feel like whoever has the most combinations out of the categories should be the winner of these awards.
Industry. This weak criteria creates so many controversies and corruption problems. However, unlike the BMAs, they don't ask the public to vote and then choose whoever they want as the winners. And of course, I'm not saying that the way these three award shows nominate artists is perfect. They also do weird tricks and twists to not nominate certain artists. For example, both the Billboard Music Awards and the American Music Awards deleted the Top Social Artist category once BTS started winning every single year, even though Justin Bieber also used to win this category for years in a row, and no one did anything.
Thank you everyone for loving our song Butter. Thank you.
Jimin.
The good thing is that at least the Billboard Music Awards and the American Music Awards lets BTS.
By the way, do BTS, and I'm sorry again to cut her off right here, to cut off Bora off. Do BTS have a feature with other groups, with other K-pop groups? I know BTS is not K-pop, but do they have any features with other, like with Stray Kids or Blackpink or TXT or whatever? Do they have any features with anybody like that where two groups come together? Let me know.
Everyone for loving our song Butter. Thank you.
The good thing is
You're
that
welcome.
at least the Billboard Music Awards and the American Music Awards lets BTS be nominated and win the categories they clearly deserve to be nominated to, and not because I say so, but because the numbers don't lie. This is why BTS's first nominations in America were for the American Music Awards and the Billboard Music Awards, because they had the numbers, so they deserve to be nominated. Only after it was obvious that BTS brings huge audiences to these awards, the VMAs started nominating them because the VMAs don't rely on numbers. They don't have any criteria. Another example, Butter deserved to be nominated and win Top Selling Song at the 2022 Billboard Music Awards because it was the song that sold the most copies during the eligibility period. However, My Universe deserved to be nominated for Top Rock Song, but they didn't win because there was another rock song with a higher average of sales, streams, and radio play. So it's fine that BTS lost. Compare these.
See, she's being honest right there. She's saying it's fine that BTS lost because they had the lesser of the sales, this and this and this and that. In that case, it makes sense. They gave it to the person that deserved to win. They gave it to the person with the most streams. They gave it to the person that has the most listens, that has the most sales. So that is deserving. That is a deserving winner. But you get an artist and you just give them the trophy because they were hot for a month, and you ignore all these other artists? Like, come on, man. That's wrong to do.
Of sales, streams, and radio play. So it's fine that BTS.
Like, do you guys, for example, I'm a hip hop fan and I love Kendrick Lamar to death, man. I love his music. I love the way he raps. His penmanship is really, really good. I respect it a lot. But do you guys think he deserves what he won? What, 6 Grammys? 6 Grammys for his song? Not Like That? Like, I don't know. Do you guys feel like he might have took, just because of one song went really, really big? I mean, I don't know. I mean, he deserves it. Honestly, he kind of does deserve it, because not like us broke records. It broke records, so it does deserve some of the Grammys that he won. But does he deserve all of the Grammys, all 6 of the Grammys that he won, because of that one song? Because he was hot for 1 month, going against Drake. You got Album of the Year, you got Song of the Year, you got This of the Year, you got that, you got this. He got like 6 Grammys. Whereas someone else that might have put their blood, sweat, and tears into a project that should have been number 1, maybe should have been number 1. I don't know.
Song with a higher average of sales, streams, and radio play. So it's fine that BTS lost. Compare these strict criteria.
So you guys are saying, they haven't had any solo, or not solo work, but they haven't had any features with other groups. Okay. I find that very interesting. I feel like they should have already by now gotten with other groups and gotten a feature by other groups. I don't know.
And radio play, so it's fine that BTS lost. Compare these strict criteria to the VMAs. MTV simply decides what is popular based on intuition, I guess, and then build the nominations around the artists who are going to attend the ceremony. For example, at the last year's VMAs, Permission to Dance was not nominated to anything because the nominations announcement was on July, so they included it in this year's nomination list. This means that their eligibility period for this year's VMAs was from June 2021 to June 2022. That's why Permission to Dance, released in July, was nominated this year and not last year. However, this K-pop group was confirmed to attend the awards, so MTV built the nominations around them, even though they have not released any music in the past 2 years.
Damn. Really?
So, BTS's performance for Minecraft was nominated for Best Metaverse Performance. This K-pop group's virtual performance was also nominated for this category, even though it was not released during the eligibility period from June 2021 to June 2022.
I find that crazy, by the way, the fact that you can go into your headset, into your Oculus or whatever the hell they're called, and watch a online performance, like an online in-game concert, a real in-game concert with characters, but really BTS is there and you are really there, and it's a crazy concept, man. That is a crazy concept.
during the eligibility period from June 2021 to June 2022. The performance was from July 22nd to July 31st, and the nominations were announced on July 26th. So how could they be nominated before their concert even finished? How did the VMAs see the future and know that they were going to have strong enough numbers to be nominated? And even if they were psychics, this group should be nominated next year, not this year, just like they did with Permission to Dance. And ARMYs are not the only ones saying this. Ariana Grande was also nominated for Best Metaverse Performance and had 250,000 more votes than this K-pop group. So if not BTS, Ariana Grande should have won, but she was not there, so she lost.
But don't they sometimes when they say, oh, they weren't able to make it in, but they won the award and they show them on the big screen? Don't they do that? It's not always when they don't show up, they give it to the next person in line. Because sometimes they do give it to that person, it's just that they're on a call. So they show us on the big screen, oh, thank you guys for giving me this award. I want to thank my family. I want to thank my blah, 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 blah. So, I don't know. That confuses me a little bit.
She was not there, so she lost.
To call these guys international superstars,
Group of the year.
How was this K-pop group nominated for Group of the Year when they didn't release a single song as a group in the past 2 years? Also, the semifinals for Group of the Year were public votes on Instagram, and it seems like there were way more people voting for BTS than for this other group. So it seems like they were nominated and won because they were there and BTS were not.
Damn, that sucks. That sucks.
You take up every corner of my mind. What you gonna do now?
How did Jack Harlow win Song of the Summer, a fan-voted category against Jungkook from BTS and Charlie Puth, when he clearly has less fans willing to vote for him? And
I just reacted to a song by him and JK. That's crazy that they end up being pitted against each other in the awards.
Even if you don't like BTS, how can Jack Harlow have more fans than Doja Cat, Bad Bunny, Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, or Harry Styles? I'm sorry, but that's just impossible. There is simply no way Jack Harlow won the voting. It should have been Jungkook, and if not him, any other artist from this list would have made more sense.
I want to see that list, yeah. Doja Cat is in there, Charlie Puth, JK. Left and Right, that might be a next song I do for him. Beyonce, he beat Beyonce. Lizzo, Nicki Minaj, Post Malone. Damn, he beat all of them?
Sense than Jack Harlow, but he attended and was destined to win. He was even one of the MCs, so I guess the VMAs thought that it would have been embarrassing for him to be the MC and not actually win anything. MTV did all of this, and you really want me to believe that this K-pop singer won Best K-pop against BTS when it was supposed to be a fan-voted award and ARMYs constantly beat their fandom at every other award show. So again, it looks like she lost the votes but won the award because she was there. The same way Jack Harlow and this other group won their categories.
I wonder how many people know about this. Like, how many people know? Because watching it at a TV, you don't know behind the scenes, behind closed doors, what exactly is happening for them to get the awards. So I wonder how many people know that this artist wasn't really supposed to win it, but because the other artist wasn't here, that's why they won it. How many people then know that this artist was not supposed to win it? A handful of people, a lot of people. I don't know.
Harlow and this other group won their categories. We also need to talk about the weird categories the VMAs creates just to exclude BTS from the important categories they should be nominated to. What is Best Metaverse Performance? What's the criteria? What's their importance in music? What is Best K-pop supposed to be about? K-pop, it's not a genre, it's an industry. BTS deserves to be nominated to the genres they deserve to be in. The Billboard Music Awards, the American Music Awards, and even the Grammys are not afraid to nominate BTS to Best Pop, Best Rock, or even Best Artist. So why does the VMA...
Personally, for me personally, and I don't know, some people might take this in the wrong way. I don't know why, but some people might get mad at that. But I think predominantly, if someone came up to me and was like, you have to put BTS in a genre. You have to put BTS in a genre. If I held a knife to your throat, and I told you, maybe YouTube, I shouldn't say that. If I held a water gun to your head, all right, and I tell you put BTS in a genre, you have to pick a genre for BTS out of the main genres, not even K-pop, out of rock, country, hip hop, techno, I don't know, all these categories, R&B. Which category would you put them in? Really, which category would you guys put them in if I held a water gun to your head? Because for me, I think personally, for me, I would put them in the pop category. I think I would put them in the pop category. It's between pop and hip hop. It's like 55-45. 55 pop, 55% pop, and then 45% hip hop. But if I had to choose one, and absolutely one genre, and I know, don't tell me guys you can't put them in one genre and you can't. I know that. I understand that, and I am aware of it. But like I said, if someone holds a gun to your head and tells you have to put them in a genre, which genre are you putting them in? That's the question. Simple question. I think I would put them in pop before hip hop and then hip hop. Let's go.
The Billboard Music Awards, the American Music Awards, and even the Grammys are not afraid to nominate BTS to Best Pop, Best Rock, or even Best Artist. So why does the VMAs refuse to do the same? The Best K-pop category was created for BTS, so they can have an excuse to exclude them.
And I'm going based off of sound. The reason I say pop is just based off of the 40 songs, 50 songs that I've reacted to by BTS so far. Which includes 4.5 albums, includes a bunch of solos, a few solos, includes a bunch of other songs. Hip hop is dominant. It's really, really dominant. But if you look at it as a whole, like from a bird's eye view, if you look at the entirety of a song from a bird's eye view, I think there's more pop in it than hip hop. At least some songs. I'm not saying all the songs. Some songs have more pop in it, and some songs have more hip hop in it. That's the thing. So it might even be 50-50. It might be 50% pop, 50% hip hop. I don't hear country in it. Rock and roll maybe sometimes in certain songs. But for me, it's definitely a hybrid of pop, hip hop. A hip hop pop hybrid kind of genre. Let's go.
Category was created for BTS, so they can have an excuse to exclude them from the big categories and don't look like they blatantly ignored BTS. I saw someone say that the K-pop category was important because it's the only way Korean artists can be part of American award shows. Since their number
True, Alexa. Alexa says Beyonce did country music and they put her in country, yeah. Definitely. So if BTS does hip-hop in their songs, they should put them in the hip-hop category or in the pop category. They shouldn't put them in the K-pop or other, They should put them in the actual genre that they're singing. They're singing pop predominantly, let's be honest here. Pop and hip-hop, both of them. So you should pick a genre. Pick hip-hop or pop to put them in. It's not fair to not put them in one of those. It's not fair to not give them the title and the award just because they're not part of a genre, really. You know what I mean? It's not fair. It really is not fair.
Important because it's the only way Korean artists can be part of American award shows, since their numbers are not strong enough in the country to compete for the big categories. And that is true. Since the big three doesn't have any K-pop categories, BTS are the only Korean artists with strong enough numbers to be nominated to these big categories and compete against American artists. However, MTV did not create the K-pop category to give visibility to Korean artists. They did this to exclude BTS from the big categories. Just look at Butter. Butter was nominated in the big categories at the BBMAs and the AMAs, but MTV decided to include it in Best K-pop, even though it's a song completely sung in English and it has nothing to do with K-pop. So logically, you would think that the K-pop category is for Korean artists. It doesn't matter if they're not singing in Korean. If it's like this, then the VMAs also contradict themselves since they made 2 white women win the Best Latin category just because they sang in Spanish. Billie Eilish, an American white woman.
Wait, hold on. They really did that? They gave Billie Eilish an award and a Latin award just for her singing in Spanish? They didn't even give it to a Latina? That is messed up, yo. Imagine how they feel if they see that. That's like crossing the line. That's like on the verge of being racist. That is definitely on the verge of being racist right there.
The VMAs also contradict themselves since they made 2 white women win the Best Latin category just because they sang in Spanish. Billie Eilish, an American white woman, and Rosalía, a woman from Spain, not Latin America, won Best Latin and went under fire because of this. So which one is it? Language or nationality? Now, let's address the biggest controversy of the night. Several media outlets announced that this K-pop group won Group of the Year. However, MTV then announced that it was actually BTS who won. So how did all these media outlets got the wrong information? A popular theory is that it actually was a last-minute change by MTV. This is because even though MTV made a huge deal that this group was going to perform, present, and win many awards, the ratings were still low. And this is not me blaming this group. This group has a pretty big fan base, but award show ratings are going down every year by the millions. The only times award shows were able to prevent a huge ratings drop was when BTS attended the ceremonies. For example, the American Music Awards improved their all-time low numbers when BTS attended the 2021 ceremony and performed 2 songs. The same thing happened when BTS attended the 2022 Grammys. Also, every time BTS attends any ceremony, the award show trends on social media, and when BTS doesn't attend the ceremony, the award show hashtags are there, but there is far less engagement and don't even hit the #1 position on trends. So maybe the VMAs thought that this success was interchangeable, and they thought this group was going to give the same effect that BTS gave to the big 3. The biggest problem was that everyone could see that this group and other artists like Jack Harlow clearly lost the votes. So if you went on social media and tried to find anything related to the VMAs, the most popular tweets were about BTS being snubbed. So allegedly, the VMAs decided to change the winners last minute, so BTS could win at least 1 award and ARMYs could shut up. This will also explain why BTS didn't send a thank you video, which they've done every single year no matter the importance of the award show. They've even sent thank you videos for the Kids' Choice Awards. So if they didn't send one this time, it was because this other group was planned to win and they changed it last minute, allegedly. But they've changed it too late. Every media platform had already released articles about this group winning Group of the Year and explaining with detail all the records they broke. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to be that
Why is she taking out their names?
Too late. Every media platform.
See, look, VMA's Group of the Year winner, and then she took her names out. Why not just put their names down? Is it who is it? Blackpink?
Platform had already
win Group of the Year. Who's the group? Guys, let me know. Someone help me out in the chat. Which group is it? 4 females. 4 females. They won the Group of the Year. They won the group of the best Group of the Year, best new group.
Released art.
And then Boracity magazine crossed out their names for some reason.
Articles about this group winning Group of the Year and explaining with detail all the records they broke.
Oh, is she not trying to give them clout? Is that what it is? Is she trying not to give them clout? Is she not trying to give him clout? Is that what it is? Yo, hey, listen. Boracity magazine, man. Bora, man, she's psycho, man. She's psycho. I love it. She is a gangster, yo. She is a G. I love it, man. I really love it. She's feisty. She's feisty. Damn, that's crazy. Let's go.
Articles about this group winning Group of the Year and explaining with detail all the records they broke. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to be that person and say that this was not an accident. This was media play. Because I know that it is said that the media creates multiple articles in the case anyone wins. But then they post the correct one once the winner is announced. So you may think that one media outlet posted the incorrect article accidentally and then the rest followed. But it looks like the media didn't prepare articles for both in advance. They only prepared articles in which this K-pop group won. Allegedly, MTV and the K-pop group's label made an...
I didn't know Blackpink only had 4 females in it. I thought it was more than that. Okay.
in which this K-pop group won. Allegedly, MTV and the K-pop group's label made an agreement, so one of them told the media to prepare articles in advance with all the records the group would have broken if they won this category. That's why the articles about this group winning were so detailed and thought out. Rolling Stones also customized a picture with their logo, the BMA's logo, and the name of the group. Their tweet also had "Make History" in capital letters and a star emoji. However, once MTV made their last-minute decision, the media had to delete the hundreds of articles they put out and change it to BTS instead. But Rolling Stones didn't have a post about BTS winning plan, so even though BTS did break records after winning this category, that was not mentioned in many of the articles like it was on the other group's articles. BTS had no customized pictures, no making history headlines, and no star emojis. All they had was a reused old photo and a link to see the winners list, not their own article.
They did him dirty right there. They did him dirty right there. Just want to take a second to look at the chat, see what I'm missing. She doesn't make it available so as not to hate. Oh yeah, that's true. That is very true also as well. She doesn't want to send haters. But at the same time, I also think she doesn't want to give them clout as well too. More clout than they already have. Which is petty. I love it, man. I love when people are petty sometimes. Like some certain pettiness makes me laugh, man. It cracks me up. I love it. Go on one of her lives and start mentioning other groups in the chat. She will get so aggressive. I did join her chat one time. I don't know if any of you guys were here, but I did join her chat one time and I donated $5, letting her know that I'm currently live as well doing her. It was like an Inception kind of thing. I just went there. I let her know, hey, I'm doing reaction to your videos with my subscribers, and she appreciated it. She really appreciated it. Much respect to her. Let's go. Oh wait, let me see what else people are saying. I always join live when I get the chance. BTS get done dirty all the time. Yeah, it looks like it. It really looks like it. It seems like it.
In many of the articles like it was on the other group's articles. BTS had no customized pictures, no making history headlines, and no star emojis. All they had was a reused old photo and a link to see the winners list, not their own article. Like I said before, the BMAs being an attendance award show is not a crazy theory. The media and the artists know this, and MTV has to legally say that they are. So even though this is all a mess, this is not new. Other popular attendance award shows are the People's Choice Awards in America and the Asia Artist Awards in Korea. I could make videos explaining everything they did, but that would be too long, and it's basically the same that happened with the BMAs. These award shows choose whoever they want as the winners and create dumb categories so every artist attending can win. The first time ARMYs noticed that this,
I feel like the Grammys always just add categories, just brand new categories. It feels like it's not prestigious anymore for an artist to win a Grammy anymore, because there's so many damn categories, man. The whole thing is like 3 hours long, 4 hours long, and it's like one award after the next, one after the next, one after the next, after the next, after the next. It's like, I miss the days when the Grammys was like, yo, best male artist, best female artist, best new artist, hip hop, this, and that's it, done. Now you got this artist, you got that artist, you got that artist, you got this artist, you got like 50 awards they can hand out, man.
Dumb categories so every artist attending can win. The first time ARMYs noticed that this was a thing was when the VMAs created the K-pop category in 2019, so BTS could win here and not be nominated in the main categories against American artists. This is why ARMYs created the BTS Music Video Awards. The BTS MVAs were created by ARMYs as a fun way to celebrate BTS's music and make fun of attendance award shows like the BMAs. And the hashtag BTS MVAs and Purple Carpet were a success. Everyone was there. BTS was there, Stevie Aoki was there, Tiny Tan, the BTS Mattel dolls, that one guy Jin met in Malta, the official accounts of the Eiffel Tower and Stade de France were there, the Holy Trinity was there, and most importantly, Jongtan was there. So A-list celebrities only.
Jongtan was there, I swear.
I don't know why my sister started laughing.
There were also votings, and some of the winners were Love Yourself for Best Social Message, Home for Bob That Deserved a Music Video, Butterfly for Hidden Gem, and Blood, Sweat and Tears was the winner.
Does Bora ever show what she looks like? Does she have a video of what she looks like? And it's not. I'm not. I'm not. I don't want to see what she looks like or anything like that. But does she have a face reveal? I'm always interested in those artists and those just YouTubers that don't show their face. I'm always interested. Like, how can they do it without showing their face? But like Marshmello, for example, no one knows what Marshmello looks like, and no one knows who the real person is. Dead Mouse used to be like that. Dead Mouse, the DJ, he used to wear a big old mouse helmet. And they're smart, man. They got really big and really famous, but outside of them working, they can go out and eat, and people would not know them, would not recognize them. They can still go out with their families. They can still go out and have fun without getting bombarded by fans. Smart.
Bob That Deserved a Music Video, Butterfly for
Alright, let's go back. Let's go.
for Best Social Message, Home for Bob That Deserved a Music Video, Butterfly for Hidden Gem, and Blood, Sweat and Tears was the winner of the night. It won Best Choreography, Best Concept, Best Styling, and Favorite Music Video. And there was another mess because Spring Day deserved better, but it was still a very fun moment.
The American Music Award goes to
who? Tell me.
BTS!
BTS!
In conclusion, everything related to attendance award shows is a mess. When artists take these opportunities to jump to the top, it hurts them because the media and music fans can tell that these awards were not deserved. And please don't think that I'm shaming these artists. There's nothing wrong with being
Bora, shame them. Just shame them, Bora. There's nothing wrong with shaming them. Tell them how it is, man. Bora, tell them how it is. Tell them how it's done. Show them how it's done. In other words, talk your shit. Talk your shit, Bora. I love it when you talk your shit. Let's go.
Were not deserved. And please don't think that I'm shaming these artists. There's nothing wrong with being a small or medium artist. What's wrong is trying to convince the general public that you are bigger than you are by faking achievements, buying awards, constantly doing media
I 100% agree with that.
play, and then posing happily on the red carpet like you achieved so much when you did none of that.
Yeah.
Accept that you are a growing artist. Many great real things can actually come to you if you dedicate yourself to your music. You already have a big label behind you and people who support you. You don't have to storm out before the ceremony ends because you lost against a bigger artist. When BTS loses an award, they may be sad, but they stay there, applaud the winner, and accept the results, even if they think it's unfair. Accepting these fake awards doesn't lead to anything useful or productive. It doesn't give you the visibility you think it gives you. Bad publicity is still publicity, but it doesn't create an army. If you want to fake it till you make it, do it without stealing. You might have won.
Do it smartly. If you want to fake it till you make it, which is I'm all for. I'm all for faking it till you make it. Not in a bad way, not in an unhealthy way. Like fake it till you make it, but in a slight form. Like don't like over exaggerate how much money you have and over exaggerate what you do and over exaggerate this but kind of think in your head like I'm doing this is a special thing what I'm doing, and I'm helping people out in my everyday job. I start thinking of these type of things. It'll really help you out. Let's go.
An army. If you want to fake it till you make it, do it without stealing. You might have won against BTS, but how does that matter when you still struggle to fill medium-sized arenas and theaters?
Right.
I think it's better to prove your artistry with a real audience. Growing little by little is not shameful. BTS did it.
True.
And look.
I 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. There is nothing wrong with you starting off small. Every group starts off small. Every group starts off with no fans. Not group, any artist. Every artist starts off with no fans. You know those big celebrities, the A-list celebrities that we see nowadays? We've known them for what? 5 years? Let's say, for example, 2 decades now. But she hasn't only been doing it for 2 decades. She's been doing it for 3 decades before that. It's that she's never had fans. She didn't have a big enough fan base for her voice to be loud enough. But they've been doing their thing for a long time, since they were kids. Jay-Z didn't blow up until he was like, what, 25, 30 years old? He didn't blow up until he was that age? Maybe a little less. I might be over-exaggerating here, but you get what I mean? They don't blow up, but he's been doing it all his life. He's been rapping probably since he's been selling crack cocaine on a corner of a block in New York. That's since when he's been rapping, but he just didn't have fans. So, yeah. I agree with that.
You still struggle to fill medium-sized arenas and theaters. I think it's better to prove your artistry with a real audience. Growing little by little is not shameful. BTS did it and look at where they are now. They are some of the only artists who can fill football stadiums these days. And they did it while ignoring these offers by the VMAs and other attendance awards.
That's crazy.
더 큰 데도 갈 수 있었고 기회도 얻었고
긍정적인 방법도 좋지만 조금 더 정직한 방법으로 좋은 음악을 만드는 게 어떨까요?
So I guess what I'm saying is
What do you say? What do you say? What do you say?
또 갈 수 있었고 기회도 얻었고
긍정적인 방법도 좋지만 조금 더 정직한
Make the music more honest way.
방법으로 좋은 음악을 만드는 게 어떨까요?
So I guess what I'm saying is believe a little in yourself as an artist. Celebrate your real achievements, no matter how big or small they are. And please follow BTS steps and stop playing MTV's game.
No, that was it. Guys, unfortunately, I'm going to call it a day right here for this live. I'm excited to do the next one with you guys. Please make sure you turn on your notifications. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, first of all. If this is your first time coming across my live videos, subscribe to the channel, please. And then also turn on your notifications. That way you get notified the next time I go live. I go live maybe every once in a while, every few days. But I'm planning this week to go live more often. I actually have a little bit of time off of work this week. So I can do live tomorrow. I can do another live in the next couple of days. So turn on notifications. That way you always know when I'm going live. Guys, much love to all of you guys that came through to the chat. And much respect to all of you guys that are watching this later. Watching this afterwards at a later time. It's Googie. Googie, is that how you say it? Googie? Nate Jones, of course. Lindsay V, of course. Lori, definitely. Much love to Lori. Nate Jones, Wanda B, Lara, Alexa, everyone else. I'm sorry if I missed your name, but shout out to everyone. Ronnie, Ranny, I mean, shout out, man. Shout out to all you guys. Much respect. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream, and I'm hoping that we can make this a regular thing where you guys can come join me and answer some of my questions. I have a lot of fun reading some of your guys' answers, and you guys just being, giving me all the insight during the live. I really like this, and it really puts a smile on my face. And guys, I want to thank you again so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next live. Again, I can't stress enough to remind you to turn on your notifications. That way you get notified anytime I drop a BTS video or go live. That being said, guys, I've been BarcaLyze in this biatch, and I'm done. Much love to all of you. Take care and peace. Oh shit, I'm still recording.